Here's the Kindle Fire showing the background in my kitchen as well as the words that are coming up on the reading of Molasses Moon. This is going to be reading number 25. It's kind of fun for me to see the reflections in there. So we left off on starting into chapter 14. Let's see, I'll just show you the whole thing again here. Just folds around and makes a little stand to sit on the table or wherever and read from it. Okay, so I'll repeat reading a little bit of 14. Oh, solo mio, more Goads. Now I know why I skipped to the last chapter instead of coming here. All I have here are Goads. There, I was still on the edge of the unknown. But if I don't dive into the Goads and get rid of them, no one will do it for me. UC might, but he's me anyway, as we know. So where to begin? And here I'm going to list the Goads that have collected so far, which some people would call, of course, goals, excuse me. The Q continuum, my pre-conversations with Tom, my chemistry professor, Mom's response to reading through page 19, Lonnie's written response, mind spinners too busy for qualms, legally strangled producers don't quit, they get down to bare bones, skeletal levels of purpose, and bootleg, making do scarcity management, why how-tos and romances are good for stall time, the problem with numerological values of Q, switching the order of need and ability in the heart of communism statement, the tumbleweed dream, finish telling what I told Tom about why I chose Q, capacity to control Q in the new paradigm, holiday history, other people as pre-readers, local politics, editor Sonia Johnson in the Canyon City Daily Record, my Mood News astrology column, queries in past, more frequent, 20. There's 20 Goads there. Yawn. I need a break. I think I'll go to the post office, fly, walk, through the sunlight, gulp some fresh air, and check the empty box while Tara avoids gathering goat heads in her paws. The paper prickles can tickle themselves for a while. A little asterisk for time passing. Okay, I'm back from the post office and the empty box. Tara didn't get any goat heads, thank goodness. Nor did I get refreshed or enlightened from my walk like I thought I might. The truth is, I'm pooped. It's going to take more than a 5-minute walk in the sunshine to perk me up. I guess I'll have to admit I'm in a slump. My butt is truly dragging. So low, I won't have to worry about the attic stairs. I'm too low to bounce, even down. With gravity grabbing me, well, gravity's already got me. It's sometimes hard to continue pouring out with nothing coming back except Captain Picard's faithful face every afternoon. After the excitement of working on the preface, the last chapter, and chapters 12 and 13, I'm pooped. But I don't know what exactly kicked me in the ass. The idea of facing Goads rather than riding the fresh breezes of my mind, or the idea of hurrying to finish a book that no one wants. The truth is, I'm hurrying not only because I want to be sure I don't lose any great ideas, but mostly because I want to get paid. There are so many things I could spend dollars on. Recharging my limp noodle hair for one. Aside from today, I finally decided, instead of worrying about getting perms and making this look in a certain particular way, decided just to let it grow however it wants to be, the way I'm supposed to be. And it's not so bad. So that's just kind of making do and letting things be what they are and grow into what they maybe are supposed to be. I've been putting off and making do most of my life. Sometimes it hits me that I'm really tired of scarcity. I know it's my own choices which have placed me square where I am, and I would make the same choices again. So I'm hurrying to finish so I can get paid. But the thing is, finishing this book does not guarantee payment. Not in the least. You know this. I know this. I've finished several books now without $1 silver in return. It's been drilled into my head with each rejection that I might never get paid. It's drilled harder when nothing responds to a query. Usually I spend up to 200 queries per month. I've slowed since I started writing Molasses. I might have fooled myself thinking the queries I've merged into this book were so good they'd finally meet the mark. I thought I might not have to send any more. Speaking of fooled, April Fool's Day is coming soon. I'm kind of hoping I don't hear from the holiday hitman, Herman, on April 1st. I don't want to fool around with the publication of Molasses Moon, or my emotions on that issue. I'd hate to have him say, "Yes, I'll toss your book at Bantam," only to have Bantam say, "You've got to be kidding." I also don't want Herman to say, "No, I'm sorry, but I can't represent your books. They're just not my style. I'm a responsible, serious gold person myself." If he said that on April Fool's Day, he might later say, "I was just kidding. I do want your other books," now that Molasses is selling like hotcakes. Good. Mostly I hate the idea of Herman rejecting Molasses Moon. Then I'd be back to square one on the hard old query board. I do love writing those letters, but I like writing books better. And I want to get paid, damn it. The worst part is I think my books are good, really, really good, even important. But what can I do about it, other than what I'm doing? I'm treating myself to a nice cold glass of refreshing mint tea. It's hot up here. You'd never believe it was snowing sideways yesterday, and the ground was frozen solid this morning. I was glad. I'm not ready for bugs, or allergies, or long hot days. Everyone's loved summer but me. Speaking from the present, I used to have allergies every single season of my life, and I'm 64 now, as you probably know. Since I've been increasing intake of magnesium transdermally and orally, every which way, as explained in my Listmania and my reviews and comments under them. That was after a year of this input. That season, I didn't have allergies, and I almost didn't even realize that they should have been there and weren't. But since that season until now this is the third. Coming up will be the third season. My allergies are gone, and that is something to be thankful for. And I'm pretty much 99% certain that it's the magnesium that does it. So even if I don't get any money, at least for under $100 a month of all my magnesium and coconut oil input and my few essential oils I use periodically, it's pretty low cost. Not only health maintenance, but curing a lot of very serious diseases, chronic, that have gathered in me over the years from a long-term magnesium deficiency. So I do have a lot now to be thankful for in many, many ways. But the history of this book and what a person goes through, everybody's history of what you go through, especially if you're working really hard for something that's very important and takes a long time. I think it's good to document that. It just hopefully will be encouraging to other people on long roads. At least I think it should be. And you can always learn something about what someone else did. It may have even turned out wrong for them or appeared to, but the method might turn out right for another person. So it's good to know what people do and how they keep going on these really long roads that at the time might never come to the fruition that you're working for. Everyone's loved summer but me. I must be crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do when it gets really hot. This limited electrical system in my upper office won't support air conditioner. I'm not sure the floor would support one. It barely supports me. My brain weighs a lot. Our budget might get indigestion over the electric bill too. Boy, I'm stubborn. I could always quit writing and go back to astrological counseling. I could probably build a good little business here. But it seems a sacrilege to quit writing books like Molasses. They're the best I have to offer, and I barely have enough time to write as it is. Tom doesn't mind my not adding an income to his. He's content for me to work for him and write my books, even if he doesn't want to read them. I'd rather he read them once they're in print anyway. But here we go again. How am I going to get them there? As an aside here, thank you, Jeff Bezos, and all the people working on all the Kindle programs. Some days I feel like I'm on the back burner of all the back burners in existence, as well as on the bottom of all lists. The lowest on the totem pole, the bottom rung of the bottom ladder, the lowest of the lowest priorities. When, oh when, is it going to be my turn? I haven't heard from Mrs. Morelli either. She's probably waiting for me to call her. But I don't want to hear her say she hasn't gotten to Molasses yet because her mother, father, grandparents, all her children, and her dog died. That's not funny, but it is. Oh, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's better if I don't call. Then her family will stay intact. No tragedies will come to pass. See? She's lucky I haven't called. I wonder what would happen if I called Herman. I probably shouldn't wonder. My wondering might put a curse on him. Maybe that's my problem. I'm always wondering this and that. Maybe all this wondering has put a curse on me. Maybe you're not supposed to wonder. That type of attitude, curiosity, and an apple got Adam and Eve into a hell of a lot of trouble. Are you wondering how long my pissing and moaning will work to allow me to ignore my waiting goads? Well, it worked about this long. I think I'm turning red. That wasn't in the book. I wonder why it's so hard for me to write from a plan or to follow an outline. I guess it isn't in my nature to follow anything. Seem to need a lot of freedom, especially freedom from time limitations. I noticed this about myself at an early age. I hated having to be something, having to be somewhere for a certain period of time, like in school or working as a waitress. I was always painfully watching the clock. I wrote my first short story about my time anxiety. I Can Wait was the title. It really was a good story. I said in one of my gem books, I think it was Morning Comes, that I didn't send out that story for rejection. Now that I have my second and third thoughts in tow, I remember. I did send it out. I sent it to Atlantic Monthly. Oh yes, I did. And it was good enough to be published in that hoity-toity literary magazine. In retrospect, I can see that. I can also see why no one else did. I was young. My typing skills weren't what you could call skills. UC was running typo rampant before I knew who he was and how to work with him. Maybe he was trying to get my attention. He had a sense of humor even then. The presentation of a few pages manuscript I Can Wait was amateurish, probably even childish. Oh well. What a title. Little did I know how long I'd have to wait. And now I'm making you wait for the goads I promised to get rid of. As much as I hate delay, I don't like putting anyone else off. Are you waiting? Or are you enjoying the ride? I wish I knew. Because if you weren't waiting, I would let myself go and let the goads come as they would, without working them in. I just went back to the beginning of this chapter to see if there were any small goads I could get rid of with a few sentences, or if there were any that caught my eye to perk my motivation. My God, that list of goads is a mountain. It would make Mount Everest look like a pimple. UC's back. He says the word goads looks like goats. Sounds like them too. They don't smell though, goads don't. They're not organic, but they're alive. But I get the message. I should imitate a mountain goat and get climbing, one hoof at a time. But mountain goats are patient. All they care about is eating grass. Each step I take, all I get is a mouthful of words. And they aren't the ones I'm supposed to be saying. Okay, I went back to the chapter beginning. There is one goat I like better than the rest. It's the one of the Capri conversations with Tom. He wasn't too happy with me during one of those. We were having breakfast in one of the back booths. All the booths are black vinyl. Some of them have deep potholes. But the place is dependable, and the waitresses are veterans. Yeah, I think I'll pause there and then I can reread the very beginning of this scene in the Capri, the goat taking care of that goat. And I hope maybe this gives other people that want to write a little more confidence in riding these little places of a lull or whatever you want to call it. I don't think they're really blocks. They're just Maybe just trying to build up enough perk or spark inside yourself. And that often comes by picking something that actually does fit the cycle of the moment. The point of power is really in the present. And be where I am and see the significance is also a good little, what would you call it? I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't matter. So I'll end this one. Reading number 25. And see you again soon.